Welcome to Just a Bit Gaming. I'm your host, Adrian Bertazoid Townsend. And with me today is Ryan Reynolds.
Hey guys. Something witty and smart and funny. I'm not as good.
I didn't forewarn you on that one.
Nope,
so,
no. I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Amy is sitting in for Ryan today because, actually, there's a lot of things to share. We have not done a show in, at least a month.
Yeah.
And it's life happens, man. We just had a lot of stuff going on. So I guess just to kind of get things started, I'd like to share with everyone what's going on with us and what's going on with Ryan and what's going to happen going forward. And
are we breaking up?
Yeah, there's a bit of bad news here.
This isn't how you're supposed to tell me.
No, it's all good news. Happy news. Nothing bad has happened. But Amy and I decided that we are going to move. Hence the reason, if you're watching this on the video, there is no game shelf behind me. It is gone, packed up, ready to go. Painted the walls blue. It looks great in here. Yeah. I don't know if it shows through on the recording, but there's a little bit of echo in here because our room is empty.
Yep.
A bed and a dresser, and that's about it.
We don't have the amiibos
to buffer the walls. Yeah.
Dampen the sound.
So in the new house, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up a room for recording that is, we're not going to have those foam things that buffer the sound. It's just all going to be amiibos covering the walls.
We've discovered they're perfect.
Yeah, they're great for that. That's what's got us by for this long. Now, we've been wanting to move for a while, and we've finally had an opportunity where it just made sense to go ahead and do it. Yeah. And it was kind
everything aligned.
Yeah, it was a kind of a spur of the moment type of deal, and we found a house that we really liked, and that we were gonna get, and then we ended up changing our minds and going with another one that was even better. So this other house looks great, and I can't wait to move into it. But and I'm gonna have a game room finally.
Yes.
So our bedroom will not be our game room anymore.
Yes.
We'll have a new place to record a podcast, which would be awesome. This is Amy will have her bedroom back. Ugh. She's been so generous to let me record in
16 years.
That's 16 years of recording a podcast?
No, just sharing my bedroom with your video game stuff.
No. So before we had kids, I did have a game room proper, if you remember, in the office. Yeah. It got pretty bad for a while.
It was literally straight all the
figures
entire
all over the wall. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was a cluster. Yeah.
Let's just say I've grown since then, and the only reason I had the room set up the way it was is because we just really didn't have the space to put it. But new house is going to have a lot more space.
What is the only rule though with the new house? That
I can't put figures all over the place.
I
don't know.
Push pin them.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of them are going to be coming out of their boxes. I finally decided to put up a proper display for my amiibo.
We need to have like it's almost like a reverse unboxing then, kind of, isn't it? We need to like video you taking them out of the box, because I didn't think this would ever happen. Document it.
Actually, what I would like to do...
might cry. There might be tears shed.
Nah, I'm okay. I'm not opening the older stuff. No. I've got some old Ninja Turtles and things like that. They're still in box. But no, the amiibos are coming out, and I'm going to... I've been looking on Instagram and stuff and finding a lot of really cool displays. Good. So I think I'm going to actually build a display. Yeah. We're going to have a big garage, 3-car garage, which means that will have space to build things like that. So
3
that's exciting.
Living rooms.
Yeah, it's crazy. We are going to be able to really fully deck out and decorate, which we've never really been able to do before.
No.
And
we just didn't have space. We're living in 1,200 square feet with six people and 2 dogs.
Yeah. And
it's like it's sardines.
Yeah. But I'm very, very thankful that we get this opportunity, because it's something that we've needed for a while. But I'm gonna actually probably document the creation of this game room.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I think it would be fun to because I'm gonna build a lot of custom things to display things. I don't want to just pin them up to the wall. That's kind of the easy way. That's why I've always done it that way. But this time, if I can just put everything or come up with an idea and build it out of wood, and just create a cool shelf or display box, shadow box or something like that. Yeah. It'd be really cool. And I could set up my old school TV, tube TV with some of my retro consoles there. I don't want to have it be like your stereotypical what you see on pictures and stuff of game rooms. They'll have like shelf with different consoles already hooked up. I thought about going that route, but it seems like cool. It looks cool, but it takes up a lot of space. And I want to kind of have the game room have a minimalistic look. So I've kind of, my tastes have changed from having something that looks overcrowded to having something that's spaced out and more deliberate and really showing off different specific pieces rather than everything all full force in your face. And I think a lot of that comes from designing. As a graphic designer, I've really kind of focused on minimalistic approach and having everything be very deliberate. And I want to carry that over into the design of my game room, which is going to be super fun. I'm actually really excited.
Do you have like a picture in your head, kind of?
No, kind of. No, not anything real specific, but I definitely want to draw some plans up and have an idea. I mean, this room it's.
Do we have room for the arcades? I want to put the arcades.
So the arcades are going to have to go in the garage still, minus the retro Pi. Retro Pi, Raspberry Pi arcade that I built. That one I'm going to put in the room, and I'm going to make it look nicer too. But
let's clean it up.
The other two old school machines are going to go in the garage. They're love big.
That old one.
They're great. They're awesome. I really do like them. And I don't know if I've actually shown them off to everybody, but once we get moved and everything, I'll show those off too, because those are really, really cool.
And a funny story. I think we've told.
I did tell the story, but I haven't. I think I posted a picture of it on Instagram, but
okay.
I don't think I've shown like them actually working. These things are relics, man. They are so cool.
I wasn't expecting them to work.
No, honestly. They shouldn't work. I mean, all things considered, these machines are 40 years old, 40 plus years old.
Yep.
There's no reason why they should work as well as they do, but they look great.
That driving game is my favorite.
It's really a step in the past for something that I didn't even know existed, and it was just a cool acquire. Anyway, I've gotten completely off base here as to what's going on. So about a month and a half ago-ish is when we decided that we were going to pull the trigger and
but that meant getting this house, right.
We had to get this house ready to sell in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. And it was
Imagine being in a house for 10 years with 6 people. Started with 4 people, and then we had 2 more people right here in this spot.
Yeah, this spot right here. I had our kids.
She had a home birth here. But yeah, and having 10 years of things that you have to fix and replace and paint and everything else. It was
all aesthetic. Luckily, I mean,
most of it was. Yeah. I mean, we've kept up with this house pretty well. I'd say as far as like, the AC and the roof and the big expenses.
Yeah, whoever gets this house is really lucky.
We put in new windows not too long ago. Things that help hold the value of the home. But the biggest things that we had to worry about getting out of here was our back fence was absolutely destroyed. The dogs never stayed in the backyard. We couldn't leave them out both in the backyard at the same time because they would literally claw at the panels
because they were just rotting. It was like you could use your own like human fingernails and scratch it apart. So.
Yeah, it didn't take any effort at all. And Milo, being a big dog that
they're like Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah,
so
he would claw out the panels and they would escape.
Milo's Pinky and Ein.
But he wouldn't do it by himself. He would only do it when Ein was out there with him. So,
and we've noticed that even if there's a hole, they might get out for a second, but they won't go anywhere because they're each other's security.
Yeah, they won't go anywhere. Milo would get out by himself, but he would just go in the neighbor's yard and then come back. He wouldn't go very far. But so we had to replace that back fence, which was a job. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was rough.
I don't think I've ever seen you that tired.
We had to cut trees, cut roots. A lot of digging through hard clay, digging through roots, and
that's when you know who your friends and family are, right there.
Everybody pitched in and helped and offered to help if they couldn't help or if I didn't need them. Yeah, everybody was willing to help, and that was great. So I really appreciate it. But yeah, we did that. We painted the exterior of the house. We painted we painted the rooms, the cabinets, the kitchen cabinets. I had to take those apart, sand them, paint them.
I painted the bedroom, down the hallway, the entryway.
I had a friend of ours come in who cleans houses. She came in and she really did a number on this house. Like, after she got out with cleaning the house, it looked like a new house already. She did a really, really great job.
And it's helped keep up with it too.
Yeah. But anyway, we found a new house and we were able to get this house listed and sold within 2 days of being on the market.
It was crazy. That was crazy too.
Not sold, under contract. It's under contract right now. But, if everything goes smoothly, we should be moved by the end of the month. And then we can get back to things as scheduled. And I do apologize for not updating what was going on. This was literally, it took spur of the moment and took every bit of time that we had. Every bit of time. And I'm talking, get up in the morning, work before I go to work, take the kids to school, then I go to work, come home, keep doing it until I go to the bed. I didn't play any games. I just didn't have time to do anything. I think I played
games twice in this whole time.
Well, and we packed almost everything up.
Yeah.
The only things we kept out were the PlayStation and Xbox and the Switch, which is, the main ones, but I packed up all the games.
Right, but you haven't even been playing, which is really weird. It's weird for Adrian not to be playing.
Usually, it's at night when the kids are going to bed.
But we're so tired, we just go to bed.
Yeah. Oh, I was exhausted. Yeah. Getting a house ready to sell is a ton of work. So I'm hoping with the next house we can keep up with it a little better.
Our mistake. Keep up with it.
Yeah, and things have finally started to wind down. I've started playing some things again, but before I get into that, I wanted to also address where Ryan is today.
Yep.
Ryan and I decided that we were going to do an episode tonight.
Yep.
And he's also been kind of in the process of trying to move, and he's had random things happen that, decisions that had to be made. Well, we were supposed to record tonight. He was supposed to come over and do this thing. And then he texts me a little bit ago saying that his realtor is going to list the house on Thursday.
Right. So they have to basically do what we just did.
They have to do what we just did. So he's going to be super busy too.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not sure exactly what his plans are or when he's going to get moved and everything, but I do know he has a deadline to meet this week. So after that, I don't know when we would do another show because we're going to have to move. Like after we close on the houses and everything, we're going to have to move, and then we're going on vacation shortly after that.
A week and a half.
We will be gone for a while, and so this might be the last show for another month and a half. I would like to get one more out in a couple weeks if Ryan is able to, but if not,
everyone forgets what your voices sound like.
Yeah. If it doesn't happen before the move, just know that we will be back this summer. Mm-hmm. It'll probably be July before we get back to doing the way things
July
are.
is already almost here too.
Yeah, and actually we are very close to our 2-year anniversary for the show.
I'll bake a cake, a gluten-free cake.
I would like to do a 2-year anniversary show if we can, but
do you remember what day? What day would?
I want to say it was in June. It was the first week of June. I want to say it was June 1st, but I don't remember exactly. But yeah, it's coming up very, very, very quickly. So if we can get out a show, we will. If not, please know we're not going anywhere. We'll be back. We'll be back in July, most likely. And, by then, both he and I should be moved into our new homes, and, life as we know it will be back to normal.
Oh, yes.
I'm ready. We can carry on with the podcast. So yeah, that's what's been going on with us, and there's a lot of excitement going around here. I mean, Amy and I are super pumped and ready to do this. Like I said, with the game room, I am so ready to have a devoted game room, and I'm gonna deck it out and showcase that and show it off while we're doing it. But to get back into what we've been playing, and that's another funny story. Ryan was supposed to come on the show and talk about all the games he had been playing, because apparently from what I talked to him last, he's been playing quite a few.
Really?
Yeah. He's unlocked all the characters in Smash, which is cool.
Wow.
And he said he's been playing. He went back to Kingdom Hearts 3 a little bit, and there was something else, and I don't remember what it was. But he's getting back into it, and kind of filling in the gaps for me, I guess, since I haven't been able to.
It's the universe is like realigning because when you're not, like, one of you has to.
That's right. So I do want to talk about a game that I got right before we started to do all this. Mm-hmm. And I got really heavily invested. You don't know what it is? You know what it is.
Oh, yeah, I do. Okay.
It's the game that Amy and I told the story on the last show that how we acquired it, but Sekiro.
Yep, Sekiro.
Sekiro, I started playing it right before we got ready to move and really got into that game. Yeah. I mean, really got into it. But that's how I do with From Software games. Yep. They grab hold of me and don't let go. Mm-hmm. I obsess over them. Like, I have to get past that next boss, past that new area, explore and find that new that treasure chest or whatever that is hidden that I didn't know was there. The game is full of surprises, and that's what I love about it. It's so it's for the explorer in me, I guess. Yeah. Like, I want to find and discover things, but it's not an open world game. So if you haven't played a Souls game before, what you can expect is a world that is like so imaginative and creative and full of like nooks and crannies that are there to be explored, and they fascinate me so much because I just want to see
detailed. That's how I look at it.
Detailed is a good word for it. Yeah, like there's always something around the corner that I want to find, and they do such a good job of hiding things behind corners and things like that, or enemies and things. So it's a real trial and error type of game. Like old school in that way, and that's why a lot of people complain about the difficulty of the game. It's one that you can't just seamlessly play through and get to the end. There's going to be surprises. There's going to be things to expect. This game is meant for you to learn and discover and restart and try again. That's why they put these bonfires, or in Sekiro, it's these statues that you go to, and they you respawn there. So it's meant for you to learn and discover and memorize enemy locations and get good at fighting those enemies, memorizing patterns. Sekiro, the way it's different from the Souls series, the biggest difference is I feel like it's more action based.
I could see that.
The combat is a lot different. It's still very it's centered around knowing when to attack, knowing when to dodge, and also knowing when to block or right. I can't remember the word for it, but you have to study enemy patterns and understand what button to push or what attack to do or what you need to do in a certain situation. Right. So you can't just go in and hit the attack button a bunch of times and expect to win. You will get you'll die a lot. So, and that's what the games are known for. Sekiro gives you the option to come back after death immediately where you sit.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So that's one unique thing about it. So when you die, you get one resurrection, and you also have the opportunity to get more resurrections as you progress, but you start off with one resurrection. And what that does is allows you to resurrect right there where you died. And
I've also seen, like, in some of the stuff that you were watching, though, there's almost like a strategy to it if you wait a second and let the enemy go away. Like,
it is a strategy. You're right.
As a strategy.
That gets into another element of the game, the stealth element. Mm-hmm. So when you resurrect, when you die, the enemy he will most of the time ignore you and walk away. You know, he's killed you, so he thinks. Right. So then you can resurrect and sneak up on him and get a sneak attack on him, which will usually it'll either kill an enemy instantly or take them down. If it's a boss, take them down one spirit level or one resurrection, because they can also resurrect a set amount of times. Right. So the combat is more fluid. You can jump which you couldn't do in the other games. You can.
That's so weird.
You have a grappling hook that allows you to scale. So there's a lot of verticality to this game that there wasn't in the other games, and that opens up a lot in terms of exploration and how you will approach the next area. Because used to in the Souls games, there's only one set path, and they'll throw out surprises at you to try to kill you and make you learn what to do next. But in Sekiro, you can scale a wall or a building and assess the situation and find out where the enemies are located, and then plan out your attacks so you can take it in a stealth like manner. So, and the stealth works really well. They have tall grass that you can hide in, and the enemies can't really see you there. You can also go behind walls and different things and hide behind those. You can you usually will just kind of sneak up behind them and do an instant kill if it's a regular enemy. Right. But you can also do the same thing to bosses, which is nice. So if you can somehow get a sneak attack on a boss before you actually end up having to fight the boss, you'll have a one up in the battle, because boss battles are rough. This game has really made me... I think I've been more frustrated on this one so far than any of the others.
I would say that I've noticed that. Yeah. I have the noise, the growl. Fuck.
Shit. Fuck. Yeah.
But you do this thing. You get your feet. I can tell how mad you are by your feet.
I move my feet.
You move your feet and you rub your feet together and you throw them apart. And,
hey, don't put on my table.
Pardon me. Excuse me. Yeah. And you just put the controller down and
see, I don't
you're not verbal about it, but like everything about your body, like everything else comes out. It's actually been kind of enjoyable to watch you. It's kind of funny.
I feel like I'm a little bit restrained with my temper and anger when it comes to these games. I could very easily see somebody throwing a controller, but for me, the fact that I have to replace a controller or a TV or whatever the hell else I break is enough of a deterrent for me not to.
You'll put the controller down and it's your body.
Oh my gosh! But this game will make you want to throw a controller. I promise you that. Where I was stuck on two different bosses. Yeah. Come to find out, one of them wasn't even a boss. It was just like a mid boss. It was this ogre. He was this big giant ogre, and he was so hard. I could not get past this guy at all. He was frustrating me so bad. I finally resorted to watching videos online, and watching these videos was like the only bit of advice I got was that I missed out on a tool for my aesthetic arm, which is another element that I get into. It's hard to talk about these games in a set order. Right. You kind of have to jump around because there's things that you forget about. But there was a tool that I could have gotten that would have made the battle with the ogre a little bit easier, because it stuns him for a short period of time, allows you to get in an attack. So I did go back and get that thing. And the funny thing is the area that thing I found it in, it was in an area that I felt like I really thoroughly explored, and I obviously didn't. It was up in this mountain. There was this merchant up in this mountain that I had no idea that you could even get up there. So this, after learning that, it's making me want to explore even more and try to find things. But I did get that tool, and it did make the ogre a little bit easier. But for the most part, what I learned in that video is like I was already doing everything right. You just have to be almost flawless with it. I mean, you have a set amount of life. You have a set number of healing and a set number of times that you can revive. You have to be very cautious and play it slow and safe.
In this game.
All timing. It's all timing.
Which would frustrate me.
Especially with blocking. Blocking enemy attacks is really kind of... It's something that you learn and you have to get good at, and it takes a long time to get good at it. So that is an element of the game I think that would be off-putting to people. I could see it being a problem for me because, I mean, the timing is so precise. You have to hit the button at the exact right time. But once you get it, you get it. Right. And it's good after that. I mean, you'll still mess up here and there, but not like you used to. Right. It's such a cool feature to have a game make you learn and understand how to use its tool set before you jump in.
Which should show how good they are with their games, because then they have to change things up and you have to keep adapting.
Exactly. And most other games, you know, Kingdom Hearts 3, have you just button mashing constantly, and, you know, you get... the game becomes easy because all you're doing is hitting the same button over and over again.
Right.
There's a little bit of strategy involved, but I mean, it's not necessary. Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro, they require you to understand the concepts in order to progress. So, to get back into the prosthetic arm that you have, you lose your arm at the beginning of the game, and it's not a spoiler because it's part of the game.
Right.
And you acquire new tools to add to your prosthetic arm, such as the grappling hook. You know, you get a fire thing. The fire thing is what I used on the ogre to stun him. And other tools like that. You hit a shuriken, I guess, the thing that you throw, the ninja throwing knife.
Cool.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
Not a clue, but
They're throwing knives, basically. So yeah, you acquire these things and you can upgrade them. Your character doesn't upgrade and level up like in the Soul series. You only get stronger by learning how to adapt yourself.
Right.
Because your character doesn't level up, and you can learn new skills and acquire new tools to help you along the way, and they do help. They do. I think they do a good job of supplementing that progress of leveling up your character like you would in the Soul series.
Right.
But it's still like, I feel like if you were to get really, really good at knowing how to use your character, you could probably get through this game without acquiring those skills just by knowing how to play, like knowing the techniques and everything. So, I did eventually make it past that boss, and I also made it past the other boss, which is just this drunken bastard. Oh my gosh, he was so hard. Every boss is hard. Every boss is hard, and it requires you to die over and over and over again and learn the patterns. If you don't learn the patterns, then you're never gonna progress past that.
So the last I saw, you were with the guy trying to get the guy in the horse.
So you haven't seen it in a while. I'm pretty well past that. Yeah, he hung up on me for a while too. But here's the thing, like, the game is a ton of fun. It's one of those that you're sitting at work and you're thinking about it. You're sitting, you know, somewhere and you're thinking about, oh yeah, I haven't tried that strategy on that boss yet. Or, oh, in this map, I don't think I've gone to this area yet. I wonder if I could take a different approach. It always makes you think about what you're going to do. And the death aspect of having to restart hasn't been an issue because I feel like this game is more generous with their checkpoints than the Souls games were. So, like, for instance, those bosses that I just described, they are right after a save point usually, and there might or might not be enemies that you have to get to before you can fight the boss, but it's close enough to where it's not it's not a huge nuisance to have to do that stuff over again. But Sekiro also has a protagonist that it tells a story in a more an easier to follow way than the Souls games. The Souls games, there was a story there, but if you weren't finding the right items or talking to the right people, deciphering what's going on, you may miss the story entirely. So
Sekiro seems more linear than the Souls
story-wise, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely it does. The storyline and it's linear, but there are branching paths that you can take. So there's different areas that you can go to. If you get stuck in an area, there's likely probably another area that you can go to and work on for a while. But the storyline stays pretty easy to follow. Your character isn't a create your own character. It is Wolf, or Sekiro is what he's called by another character in the game. But he is on a mission, and you follow him through this mission, and he has I think that I would say he has a voice, which your characters were always silent in the other
that's
games.
true, yeah.
So so that's really fun. The other thing that's really fun about it is it's in a different type of setting. It's in a ancient,
like feudal Japan.
Yeah. And so you're fighting different types of enemies. You're exploring. I think that part of the world, and I think that's really interesting. And I don't think a lot of games really touch on that. They used to back in the past. I mean, there was games like Tenchu, and
I felt like the early 90s did that.
ninja type games. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden touched on it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's something that's still, I don't think, fully explored like it should be. But this one kind of goes into lore, folklore and things, which the Dark Souls games do really well. So they have uniquely created characters. It's not just samurais and ninjas and things that you're fighting against, or monsters. Right. You're fighting monsters and other kind of really cool created enemies that are based in mythology. Right. So the game is a lot of fun. One thing that I did notice is whenever we started packing up to move, I was concerned that because I hadn't been playing the game, I wouldn't be able to go back and pick it up and play it again. Right. It's one of those games that you have to memorize, like the moveset on the controller and things. I didn't think of that. But I did pick it up a few days ago and started playing it again, and it felt like riding a bike. I was able to learn. I did have to
get a feel for the timing. Yeah. It's like driving standard.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. You have to learn the controls again, but it only takes a second to be like, oh yeah, this button does that. And then once I do that, the muscle memory of knowing when to dodge and block and use my different skill sets, it all comes back to me. Mm-hmm. So it works. And I think it's because I put in probably 15 to 20 hours into the game before we got...
You only got that far?
Yeah. The game is hard. I mean, another big aspect of the Souls games that I used to love that they stripped from this game was the multiplayer stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we actually have... I played through... Let's see. I played through all of them in multiplayer.
Yeah, you did.
So multiplayer, even though it doesn't always work really great, when it does work, it's awesome. And you can summon people into your world to help you get through that area, and it makes things easier versus playing it by yourself. And I played through all those games that way. And they also have messages that other players can leave that you can read. I thought
that was kind of cool.
So all that stuff has been eliminated in this game, which is... I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I like the fact that this game feels to me more like a solo experience, and it's intended to, especially with the storyline and you not creating your own character. But it forces me to get good on a level that I didn't with the Souls games. Right. Like, I felt like I was good on the Souls games, but I always had help. Like, if I really couldn't get past that next boss, I would summon someone in to help me, and we get past it. This game forces me to rely on myself. I don't have to be a big boy. That's right. And so I like it for that. Right. And I feel a bit more of a connection, I think, to this game. And I feel like I'm getting good enough that I kind of want to go back and play the Souls games again just to see if those skills translate to those older games.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it does, but I do miss the messages that people would leave. I feel like that would be a cool aspect that they could have left in that wouldn't affect the difficulty at all. Or some sort of online component in some way. But
because now you're left to like searching for them, like going and seeking people who've played it and kind of see what they have to say about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the game is amazing. It has really lived up to what I expect from a Souls or From Software game at this point. From Software they've become like one of my favorite developers, if not my favorite developer of all time, simply because of that series. I've gone back and acquired a good chunk of their past games, and all of them have some sort of element, this kind of uncanny element that it just feels weird when you play it. The worlds that they create are so
I've always
weird.
Like, especially like with the soul stuff, I always felt like it was like if you were in a bad dream, honestly.
Exactly.
It's very creepy. It's very...
But it's rooted in reality just enough to give you that uncanny feeling. That's why it's
like you're in a dream, and I've always felt... But it's not like... It's not so scary where I think it's unplayable. It's really
strange. It's not, I wouldn't call it scary.
It's done so well. It really is.
Phenomenal. Like the artistry and the game development and everything comes together so well in those games.
Not the bosses. Well, I mean, the bosses, the baddies, like they're all just so...
And if you go back and play...
It's like looking at a Salvador Dali picture sometimes to me, like how they're created and how they're like
any kind of art. Yeah, like if you look at some art and you get that kind of strange feeling about it when you're watching it, like these games portray that feeling really well, or a good movie that portrays that feeling.
Their character development for me is almost like, what is it, Guillermo?
Yeah. That's like, he's a good one to compare to. He's well, at least a lot of his older films have a kind of a creepy,
with the guy who's like
yeah. But Sekiro does the same thing. It feels, although Sekiro feels a little bit more realistic to me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Than the other ones did, but it's still a weird world, you know. But the older games, like I was saying,
it's not like a bad dream though.
You could tell like how they have evolved over time with this that strange characteristic throughout, right. You know, even down to sound effects and voice acting. Right. Like the voice acting is really unsettling too. Like nobody really talks that way, and they have just creepy mannerisms about them. Each character does, and their dialogue is strange as well. Yeah. So I strongly urge anybody, if you've given the games a try and it's just doesn't seem like it's for you, it seems like it's real hit or miss with these games. Like either you love them or you hate them. There's never anybody in the middle ever. I've never met a person that says,
I think it's because they're so like you have to, like, if you're going to play it, you have to dedicate. You have to devote it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so that's why there is no room for like lukewarm.
There's not. And for me, like, I am not hugely into open world games. I used to love them, and I've kind of worn myself out with them. I like a little bit more of a linear experience in this game. This game is a kind of a linear experience, but it does give you choices on how you can approach situations. And I like that. It focuses a lot more on gameplay mechanics than something like, I don't know, Far Cry, where you are just going around exploring areas and, you know, opening the next part of the map so you can go explore more areas and do the same thing over and over again. This game is very technical and skill based. Right. And it's a skill that everybody has to learn to play it. I can't talk highly enough about it. And I'm so glad that we were able to get that special collector's edition. That statue is so cool. And I'm excited to display that in my new house. Because honestly, this game it's up there in my top 10 games. Like, honestly, and let's do this. Like, if I was to put it somewhere on my list of favorite FromSoft games, I think I would put it right after Dark Souls. Dark Souls will always be my favorite game in the Soul series, just because it was my first. I played Demon Souls before that and really loved it, but it wasn't until Dark Souls where I felt like that formula was really perfected. I feel like Sekiro is right up there with that for me. I've gotten so much pleasure and enjoyment out of playing this game, and it feels different enough from a Souls game that I still am just really enjoying it. Right. So yeah, that's Sekiro. So I guess like in the period of time where we've been trying to move and get things done around the house, I haven't played much, but I have been playing my Switch a little bit more. A little bit more. I mean, like lay down in bed when I'm already dog ass tired, turn it on to play a game, and then fall asleep with the damn thing in my hand and not get very far at all. Actually, last night, Amy and I were going to play Secret of Mana on the PlayStation last night, just play a game together, and the remake actually of Secret of Mana. And I just bought it because it's on sale, so I hadn't got to the point yet where you unlock the second character. So
I was enjoyable to watch. So I didn't.
She was sitting there with me, and I was playing through it, trying to get to that certain point where she could play with me. And she has a video I might plug in here if I can, of me sleeping on the couch, running against the wall because
he's just like running like this.
My thumb was still pushing down on the thumbstick while I'm passed out. Oh, I tried to stay awake.
I know.
Like, I don't even remember closing my eyes. I just passed out. We had a little bit of a busy day yesterday, though.
Yeah, we did.
But yeah, I was playing my Switch. I went back to playing Ys 8 again.
What is that?
The game, it's an action RPG. I talked about it a little bit on a previous episode, but it's an action RPG, kind of like a dungeon crawler, but you're not really exploring a dungeon. You're exploring this island that you have been. You were on a ship, and the ship was basically the ship sank, and you were on this island. And you are finding survivors of the ship, and you guys are building this kind of island community to try to get off the island. But so the main goal of the game so far has been to go out and find survivors.
Right.
And but what makes it fun is you have 3 characters that you can control, and you can switch between the 3, and each one of them has special weapons and abilities that are good against certain enemies that you fight against. So the game makes you have to switch characters at the right moment, and you can switch characters like with a button press on the fly. So
that's kind of cool.
It's really cool. It's a unique gameplay style that I'm really enjoying, and so I've been playing that quite a bit. Once I get a little bit further into it, I might talk about it further and explain like the mechanics and everything. But actually, I'm a good distance into it, I would say. But I highly recommend that. That game is also on the PlayStation 4 if you ever want to play it. I bought the Switch version just so I could play it.
Right, the
portable.
mobileness of it.
Yeah, and that helps a lot. So I recommend that. What else have I been playing? I think that's it. Yeah, really. I can't think of anything else I've been playing.
I've been going to bed before you have.
Yeah, Amy has given up on Call of Duty, at least for the time being.
It's not because I want to.
Oh, I know. Well, you got to play today.
I did get to play some today.
And you got to play the other day.
I might try
what's
and play
awesome,
tonight.
Though, I get the TV. Let's fight. No. What's awesome, though, with the new house is that we can set up our TVs relatively close to each other. And so we won't have to be in completely separate, different areas of the house to play, which would be fun. I feel like I would get more enjoyment out of it if I was closer to you.
Aww.
It's because I love you, Amy. Okay. It's just because
I hope so.
So, yeah, I think that's about it as far as that goes. A few switching gears here, a few news topics that we missed out on that I kind of want to touch on just briefly.
Ooh, yes.
Back to Sekiro a little bit. People were really upset about the difficulty of the game. So there's a lot of outcry about people wanting an easy mode in the game, and that game shouldn't be that hard. And I really wanted to give my opinion on this when this was happening, because I feel like that's a bad way to look at it. To me, this game is a vision of the team that created it.
Right.
They wanted this game. They wanted you to learn how to play it and get good at it. Right. Hence the reason I have. They want you to be dedicated and devoted to learning the system. There are not enough games out there like this. I can't think of any that are like this. Yeah. It's such a unique quality about them that I love, and it draws me to them. Right. I want to get good. And when you feel that progression in that, because it's a game that I feel like anybody could get good at. Mm-hmm. Anybody can get good at it. Unless you have a disability that allows you not to, with, hand problems or whatever. Right. It's a game that I feel like anybody could get good at. It just takes time, and dedication. I mean, if you get frustrated and run away from it, then you're not going to get good out of it. But when you do get good, it feels so satisfying.
I was just getting ready to say the satisfaction that I see on you when you complete that thing that you've been trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. Like, I could see how that would be it. You're like, I beat you.
I beat you. I did it. I accomplished this. Not enough games give me that sense of accomplishment. Right. I mean, there just isn't. I really can't think of any unless, at the moment. I'm sure there's plenty, but those Souls games and Sekiro, they have such an immense level of satisfaction that comes from you defeating that boss or getting past that next area, and it's all 100% dependent on you getting accustomed and learning how to play the game. And if they were to put an easy mode in the game, that completely defeats the purpose of what it is that you were intended to do.
And if you know anything about From Software games, that's not how those games are. Like, why are people going to ask now? Because anytime I've heard of a From Software game, it's the Souls and then this. Like, it's not like...
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing where...
Is there an easy mode on the Souls games?
No, none of them have a difficulty level setting. So it's one of those things that if they put a difficulty mode in it, it would completely break the mechanics.
Yeah.
Because the mechanics are intended for you to understand and get good with the combat system. But if there was an easy mode to where you could take out a boss, with little to no effort and getting hit constantly, then where's that sense of accomplishment?
Right.
Where's that sense of exploration when you can just power through everything easily? It completely takes everything away from it. Now, I understand that people want options and they want to be able to experience the game. And if that is a barrier of entry that they can't get into, I'm sorry to say, but that sucks. It really does. I wish you could experience it, or, it didn't frustrate you to that point. But at the same time, I don't feel like you would get the same impression of the game of someone who were to play it the way it was intended, I don't know. Like, part of me says that there shouldn't be an easy mode placed in games like that.
Right.
But the other part of me is like, well, I mean, having options is never a bad thing. So maybe it's okay.
It doesn't hurt you.
It doesn't hurt me, as long as I can still play on normal mode and experience the way I want to. But then there will always be that temptation to drop it down to easy mode.
Right.
So that's kind of like one of those levels, like with that boss that you saw me getting stuck on.
Right.
Like, I could see myself like getting to a point where like, fuck it, I'm putting down on easy mode just to get past this boss. And I like the fact that option's not there because it forces me to continue to prove. So then obviously
they didn't put in an easy mode.
Right.
How would you even do that? Like, build it in?
I mean, if they were to put an easy mode in this game, I would assume that it would be a system where you could take more hits before you died, or the enemies could take fewer hits before they died. Something like that, I think, would be okay. But I still don't think it's a good idea. At least not from Souls games. I just don't think it's a good idea.
Right.
Also, the Sega Genesis Classic was announced, and I thought that was a super cool thing. They've had Genesis Classic type things in the past.
I remember like in malls and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they've always been like shoddy.
Poorly made?
Yeah. And this new system is looking good. Like they've got a good development team behind the console. It looks great. It's a miniature Model 1 Sega Genesis, and it looks awesome.
You're just gonna have to display all your little
mini consoles. Yeah. So I've kind of gotten to the point where I don't even use my actual Super Nintendo and Nintendo anymore.
That's true. You don't.
I just plug it in HDMI and still have the same experience on a better TV. And I hack all those systems so I can put games on that. But the Sega Genesis Classic, I think, is coming with 40 games.
Oh, wow.
They've already announced 20 of those 40 games. And a lot of them are games that you would expect, like Sonic and, Golden Axe, things like that. Or no, I can't remember. But common games that they put in a lot of the Genesis Classics collections that they put out. But some surprises. Castlevania Bloodlines has never been re-released before, so that's an awesome addition. Earthworm Jim has been added, which is great. I love the Earthworm Jim series. In fact, I am going to have Jim tattooed on my arm soon. When my brother is able to do it, yes. He's my next. That and Dark Souls. I got to fill his arm. But and speaking of Earthworm Jim, actually, I'm getting off topic. Let me finish this thought and I'll come back to it. They've already announced a lot of really good games to go on this thing, and it's already encouraging. Based on the 20 games that they've announced so far, it's already a must buy for me.
Okay.
But of course, I'm sure that there will be an option to be able to hack it. Not an option, but hackers will get a hold of it and allow me to put more games onto it. And
more than the 40.
Yeah. It's still cool. Like, it's still cool. I love these miniature consoles. They're cool to me. But Earthworm Jim, so they are making another new console that's supposed to be family friendly, and it's the Amiga. There's an old system called the Amiga.
Right, I remember hearing that.
And I have no experience with this system at all. I don't know much about it. I just know that it's a thing that existed. Well,
I feel like my brother has one.
He may. Yeah. He has a lot of those obscure things.
Yeah.
They are making a new console, Amiga console, and it's going to have dedicated exclusive games to help sell it and promote it. I don't know how I feel about having a new console like that.
Right.
I don't feel like it's necessary at this point, but right. I mean, it just depends on what they decide to do with it and how they can make it unique.
Right. Right.
But along with this announcement, just recently they announced that they got the original team back together, and they are going to make a new Earthworm Jim game exclusive to this console. Which sucks because they're going to make me buy a console just for one damn exclusive game. Yeah, Earthworm Jim goes way back for me. I love that series. The artwork is what really attracted to me in the beginning. And they've got the original artist back for that. And
to me, the artwork reminds me of like Ren and Stimpy.
It's that 90s style.
It's
that 90s comic book style.
Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life.
Kind of the gross out style, yeah. But it's so angular and rough looking.
It's definitely it's a style.
It's a 90s style. I love it, and it's got that kind of 90s style gross out humor to go along with it, and it's gonna be so cool. I'm really excited about it. Not much has been said other than that. I think they did a live stream yesterday or sometime recently talking about it, but I missed it, so I missed the news on that. But I am excited, so. We'll see what happens with that. There've been other news things, but I can't think of anything right now, and I feel like it's time to wrap up. Yep. We did go see Endgame. That was an awesome movie.
I liked it.
It was a great movie. I'm not going to say any spoilers.
I didn't get to watch it with you, but I did get to see it.
It's a movie that I feel like is a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
To wrap up a series that has been going on as long as the Marvel series has been going on, with, starting with Iron Man on. That's, I think, 22 movies.
I was going to say, I thought it was like 11 years and 21 or 22 movies.
Yeah. And to be able to intermix all of those movies and have some sort of cohesiveness, Endgame was able to pull from all of these characters and all of these backstories, and it really pays
really well done.
Yeah, it pays a lot of really great tribute to those movies and those characters,
and it did not feel like 3 hours at all.
The movie went by quick.
Yeah, it did.
It was a very satisfying end to a series, and I don't think they could have done it any better. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I would call this movie perfect.
Wow. If you even know Adrian, for me to hear him ever say that there is a perfect movie, that is in our entire
if you count
relationship, that has never happened.
If you count it in terms of what it's trying to do in wrapping up the series, it's perfect.
There were a couple of times in the movie, though, that I thought, yeah, it's done. Oh, crap. Here comes more. Like, there were a couple of times that happened for me.
I didn't want the movie to end.
But it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't bad in a way where I was like, oh, crap, here it comes again. I was just like, no, now what? So it's really good. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
At this point, everybody should see it. Or should have seen it. Unless you have kids and it's hard to get a sitter to go out and watch it. I understand.
Yeah, 3 hours.
I understand. We lucked out in that we had some help from your parents with that. So we didn't get to see it together. We had to go at two separate times.
I stayed once.
And then I stayed.
Well, that's because I got really sick, not just like a little sick.
You were supposed to go with me. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I was very, very, very sick.
Yeah, so I had to go see it with, I took the two oldest girls, and went with my buddy Michael. Went and watched it, had a great time. And then you went the second time.
I went with my parents and with my Call of Duty friend, Raz. Because my brother ended up not coming.
For the second time?
For the second time.
Your brother was supposed to go with us when I went and saw it, and he didn't go. But
know. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he bailed twice.
Aww.
That's all right. I'm sure he'll go watch it sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think things are going to wrap up here. Yep. I want to reiterate again, we're not going anywhere.
As I say, we're not going anywhere. It's just we're trying.
We are going somewhere.
Yes.
To a new house, but the show is not going anywhere.
No, but then we'll have, a new game room. It feels like it's going to open up you already play games, but now there's like a dedicated place for it and showing off some of our stuff. I feel like there's going to be more
there's going to be more opportunities for for the growth of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And same with Ryan. I mean, he's moving into, I assume, to be a bigger house. I don't know if he's looking at something specific right now, but we're it's funny that we're both moving at the same time. We've been talking about it a lot, over the past year, especially. I finally
just lost it, which is what happened with us. We had a plan, and then I just was cramped, and
our plan intended for us to move in 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the tiny kitchen and not being able to get things done in there and having kids all over huddled on top of you. That was kind of like the final straw.
Yeah,
I think.
It was. If you want me to do my job, I gotta have a space for it.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a spur of the moment deal. I'm excited. And like I said before, I really think this is going to open up.
Yeah.
It's going to allow me to have a dedicated machine for editing. Because the way I do the show now is I have to pull out my computer, set it up, unplug the other computer because the kids have their computer, do my editing, export it, upload it. It's a process, and it's a drawn out process. Right. It's kind of a pain.
The only thing is we're losing our good internet.
Yeah, that sucks. We're losing fiber, but I'm sure we'll get it eventually. It's coming. But so I'm going to have a dedicated area, a dedicated room to being able to do things easier. Mm-hmm. And that's going to really help me out a lot.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Stay tuned. I'm hoping to put out a show before we move, but if it doesn't happen, I'm sorry. We'll see you in July.
Yeah.
and actually, I will keep everyone posted on Twitter. So if you guys don't follow us on Twitter, please do so. I didn't update anything on Twitter from this, since the last show, but that's just simply because we've been so busy.
Right. Hopefully it's slowing down slightly.
It's slowing down enough that I think that I can.
I mean, clearly we're doing a show now.
Yeah. But yeah, I will keep everyone updated if we decided to do a show or not on Twitter. So if you're not following us, it's at JABGcast, JABGCAST, and it's the same handle on Instagram and on Facebook. You can also go to our website. It's www.jabgcast.com. And on for all you audio listeners here, we're on YouTube as well.
If you want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, see what the room looks like without a wall behind it, weird. Wall of games behind it. Goodbye, house.
I know.
You've been so good to us. It's kind of sad to leave it after 10 years, and
it's weird to have it.
It's weird to not have my collection up here anymore, but it's for the better. We're moving on, moving up, having change is good. Yeah. Change is good.
Yeah, we'll be happy in the next video. Yeah. So. Because we'll be in the new house by then.
Yeah, that's right. Guys, I really appreciate you listening. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.